Attachment comes first, then detachment. I don't know about any of you, but in my childhood, one of my many hobbies was in India, we play with marbles. So I had a 250 marble collection. And I mean, there are some games where you actually gamble. I'm sorry to say, during our Karthik class, I'm discussing gambling. But I don't know if any are aware, there is a triangle kind of a shape made in the ground. You put three, four marbles, and then whichever you. Oh, so so I was not so expert in that. So I devised a way in which I made some like a lotto, like a lottery, and you give me one marble, and you can pick one paper chit, and there were some prizes. I would keep some compass things or some pictures or some other things. Two things happened. My household junk got reduced, and I was the king of 250 marbles. And I would lay them all on the floor. I would sleep on them. I would say, ha ha ha, look at me enjoying. One day, I said something was pricking my conscience that this is not fair. This is not fair the way you have earned all that. Give them back. So I called all my friends, not all of them basically, but whoever had been a loyal customer. I said, I'm sorry, I just did something, and here you can take everything back. And my father was amazed. How come he gave it up? And my answer at that time, there was no philosophy, but my answer was, I simply stopped enjoying them. I was into reading classics, music. So now I can see with retrospect effect, we actually never give up anything. We simply accept what we see as a higher pleasure. Our life simply is like a ladder. We simply go on higher pleasure, higher pleasure. Some of the pleasures could actually be higher, some are just advertised like that. Some we discover were not so high. But the principle, according to Gita, Krishna says, Rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva. There has to be a param for anything in life. The moment you get the higher one, you can easily analyze the lower one. Never make the mistake of any kind of a habit or even an addiction that you analyze that and you say that it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, give it up, give it up, give it up. Things don't work like that. We discover a higher pleasure. So, Krishna is described in the Upanishads as Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Nectar of devotion begins with this thing that you know whom we are talking about? A person who is the personification of all happiness for everyone. Here we have people saying you can't please everybody all the time. Most of the time, it's like a tightrope walk, it's a tug of war. Your health, your boss, your family, your aims and ambitions. Whom do we please? A very nice concept Prabhupada introduces in the Nectar of Devotion. Understand Krishna to be like the main switch in an apartment. The main switch is off. So the AC, the oven, the fridge, the lights, the music system, home theater, nothing works. And you may individually analyze them. Still nothing works. You are fidgeting with the switches, nothing works. Put on the main switch. Then you can repair each and every individual appliance in case there is a uh, failure or some kind of a defect or whatever. But with the main switch off, nothing will work. So, beginning of understanding Krishna, who Krishna is, Why is he called the reservoir of all pleasure? That is the point of Sambandha Gyan. You are putting the main switch on in your life. The main switch is on, the other switches are off. It's a possibility. Then you can go on repairing, or you can start the lights first, then the AC, then the home theater. So, in case you want to take care of things in your life, first of all, the main switch. So, this month of Kartik is a Vedic way of counting months, and they are also 12 in number. So, this also is called the month of Damodar. So Prabhupada writes in the Nectar of Devotion, there is a statement in Padma Puran that October, November, the month of Kartik, there is a regulative principle to pray daily to Krishna in his Damodar form. Damodar, Dama means a rope, Udara means the belly, stomach. So there is this very famous Leela of Krishna bound by ropes, Dama Udara by Yashoda Mai. And the simple story is as follows. There is a backstory to that. Uh, the backstory is Kubera is a big treasurer of the demigods. Kuber is also called Dhanada, one who gives wealth. He has two sons, Manigriva, Nalakuvara. And as you know, spoiled brats, sons of a big billionaire, Baap ka maal hai, no need to work hard. So what do? They may say, even if we spend this money the way we are spending, still our pop has made so much. So why worry? So they are boozing, they are singing, dancing, and then they want girls. They call girls, and you may say that there are this kind of people there in the heavens also. Yeah, they are. That's what heavens are for. One day they are so much engrossed in enjoyment, they remove their clothes. The girls also remove their clothes, and they are even drinking right in the midst of that stream. It's the atmosphere is heavenly, and Narad Muni happens to go to some place. I don't know what he was doing there, where he was going. Now, seeing Narad Muni from afar, the Devanganas, Deva Angana, the damsels of the heavenly planets, they rush out and immediately start dressing. They don't want to come in the gaze of Narad Muni. Narad Muni is not actually looking out for them, but as he comes near, these two gentlemen, they are kind of raising their glasses towards Narad Muni. Hey, how are you? And nice to see you. And Narad Muni for a moment thinks that, what happened? What makes a person so proud? Is it wealth? Okay, if it is wealth, how long can you enjoy it? And you are enjoying it on your material body? Who owns the body? And that passage in Srimad Bhagavatam actually gives you an idea of the level of Narad Muni's thinking process. It's very deep. It's all going on in his mind. And at one point of time, he thinks that something needs to be done. Now, Narad Muni is somebody who doesn't do anything on his own behalf. Prabhupada writes in the Bhagavad Gita that a pure devotee's life is like a well oiled machine. I really like that analogy. It means the operator takes care of the machine, there is lubrication, there is grease, and everything is properly maintained. And then when you switch on, if it is a printing press, it goes on printing paper. If it is a manufacturing thing, it simply keeps on manufacturing. So It's a very unusual event, therefore it is mentioned. A curse comes out of his mouth. Now we may say curse. Hey, you sadhus, you're not supposed to curse, you're supposed to bless. This particular Leela will make you understand that Krishna is so expert that the blessings of a sadhu ends in welfare. The curse of a sadhu ends in ultimate welfare. So now what does Narada Muni say? You guys, you're standing here openly exposed. You become trees. And they become trees, but where do they become trees? Two very tall, sturdy, robust trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj's palace. The palace is a huge area, and one corner there are these two trees, and everybody knows these trees are there for the last so many years. Coming back to our Karthik Leela, Krishna is on the lap of Mother Yashoda, and suddenly she realizes that, oh, I have kept some special milk on the stove. I hope the milk doesn't boil and gets spoiled. So she puts Krishna down and rushes to attend to the milk. And Krishna is thinking, you are giving more importance to that stupid milk? Look at me, you're supposed to serve me. And she's saying, oh, I want to serve you, that's why I'm neglecting you. It's a bit of a paradox. Oh, you are serving me by neglecting me? Friends, taking care of Krishna's things for Krishna's service is a big aspect of bhakti. You should not neglect your health. Oh, I am this material body, I'm going to die anyway. No. Previously, it should be like, oh, I am an Indian body, I have a good body, sturdy body, healthy body. Now you should feel that this body is my instrument in serving Krishna. I need to take proper care of it. My intelligence, my job, my family. Just see, everything can be connected to Krishna. That is the why of this material world. If you are interested, everything can be connected. If you are disinterested, even you can be completely disconnected from this world. The scope is there. Krishna doesn't interfere with your choice. So coming back to the story, Krishna is very angry. So he takes a stone and breaks a butter pot. And butter falls down. Plop! The whole floor is filled with butter. Then he calls the monkeys and starts feeding them. Now again, there's a backstory to why Krishna feeds monkeys. As Ramchandra, he could not really pacify, please, and serve each monkey who helped him conquer Ravana. So he had promised them, in Dwapar Yuga, join me in Vrindavan. There we'll have a nice time. So these monkeys of Ram Leela, they get a second chance to participate in Krishna Leela. Then the monkeys are, their stomachs are not that big. They're not like cows, they can eat all day. Of course, monkeys always nibble something, but it is just for fun. Their stomachs are small. So they stop eating butter. And Krishna is thinking, this is useless butter. Even monkeys don't like it. All this thing is going on. Yashoda Mai comes back, finds there is no Krishna in the room. Where did this fellow go? And then she finds that Krishna is such a thief, such an innocent thief, that, or an innocent criminal, he has committed a crime, but he walks on the same butter so that where he has gone, you can easily find out by seeing the footprints. He's not that smart that he would avoid the butter and just go from the edge of the room so that mother will not find him out. She says, oh, first of all, Mother Yashoda has a big surprise. How strong my boy has become. He can now take a rock, small rock, I can actually break a pot. So the initial mood is like every mother, like I'm 55 now, and my mother tells me, when you are in New York, please take care while you are crossing the streets. I say, I am 55 and I am staying in Mumbai. The traffic in Mumbai is much more than that of New York. She said, yeah, but it's my duty to tell you. So mothers have never changed over the last 5,000 years. So she's only admiring him. My seva was in translating Srimad Bhagavatam. So my mom tells me, how did you get these ideas of writing these purports? I said, Mom, it's a translation. I don't need to use my brains at all. It is English. I need to translate in Marathi. No, no, but you have to think, right? I said, yeah, there is some thinking involved. No, but you never had this experience you never were a Sanskrit scholar while in school. So there are some things in life where a person just looks at the emotional aspect. There is no question of logic. There is no question of reasoning. Nothing. But then Mother Yashoda says that, but he's becoming a bit too naughty nowadays. If I don't discipline him, he might become unruly. And then the biggest question any mom has, especially in India, who will marry him? Imagine, even Krishna's mother has this problem that who will marry him if he's becoming so mischievous and so notorious that other people feel that that boy, that blackish boy from Nanda Maharaj, no, 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 we don't want him as a match. So she wants to discipline him. So he runs away, one room to another room to another. Then comes to the courtyard. Meanwhile, Krishna Lila is something so wonderful that big rishi, munis, siddhas, those who have practiced celibacy for like 60,000 years, they have not eaten anything, they have given up drinking, they have given up sleeping. These kind of sadhus, as a special bonus, they gain entrance into Krishna Lila. But they are muted, just like in a Zoom call. Your video is muted, audio is muted. So for them, the video is on, but the audio is muted. They cannot participate, they cannot make comments, they cannot tell Krishna to do this or that. So they see Yashoda Mai running after Krishna and they are saying, hey, woman, do you know what you are doing? This is Parabrahman, this is the goal of all transcendentalists. We try to catch Krishna in meditation, it's not easy. And then they look at themselves and say, what a foolish woman thinking she can catch Krishna. We failed. Look at us. We cannot get access to Krishna. And here is this village woman and she feels she can catch Krishna. Well, Krishna also knows everybody's heart. He also sees these people talking among themselves. And he says, today I am going to show you the opulence of my devotee. You think by pranayam, by gymnastic exercises, by hatha yoga, by giving a lot of charity, by learning by rote, learning by heart, millions of shlokas, by not eating anything for hundreds of years. Is that how you are going to capture me or placate me or satisfy me? No, sir. Bhakti doesn't require tapasya. Bhakti doesn't require gyan. Bhakti doesn't require karma. We can do that, but doesn't mean we'll capture Krishna by that. The arrogance and pride of a person will always be the first thing Krishna will remove. And Yashoda has no pride. She's thinking, hey, he's my son. I need to, again, when a devotee is doing something, why is he doing that? Welfare. Now, Krishna doesn't need somebody's thoughts of welfare, but that's how nature works. So Krishna allows himself to be captured. Now, if somebody understands this point, one of the major hurdles of understanding Bhakti Yoga is gone. When Krishna allows, anything can happen. Krishna doesn't see merely the effort. He sees Mother Yashoda is running after him. She's an old woman. She's hefty. She's perspiring. The flowers from her hair are falling. So Krishna thinks, maybe I am overdoing it. Maybe it's enough. So when she catches him, she has a stick in her hand. And he says, my God, is she going to beat me? Now Krishna is saying, my God. He's God himself, but he doesn't need to say that. But the whole spectators are saying, my God, is she going to beat him? You can't do that. She doesn't want to beat him, of course. She's already a parenting course expert. She's just showing him a stick. She throws the stick away. And Krishna is crying. Can somebody make God cry? Here she does. Are the tears fake? In a way, no. Krishna actually is crying. And she says, I have to discipline him. I can't beat him. But what do? I need to give him some semblance of a disciplinary act. How did Krishna break the butter pot? He stood on a wooden mortar. It's called ukhal. Nobody uses that. I never saw in my entire childhood, but I went to one village and I saw that. A ukhal is a wooden grinding mortar. So she says that this is the thief and the grinding mortar is accomplice. So दोनों को सजा होना चाहिए. Both need to be punished. So she takes a rope and tries to bind Krishna, and it's a simple job. Take a wooden mortar and then take the boy and bind them together. So she takes a rope and finds the rope is short. Oh, takes another one. So that is one rope tied to another rope. Put it over the mortar, put over the small belly of her son. 2 fingers short. So one gopi comes and says, hey Yashode, what are you doing? What's happening? She says, something serious. I need to take care of this business myself. Now, if you want to help me, get me a rope. So she says, rope? For what? Can't you see I'm going to bind this boy? So this friend goes and gets another rope. Now it is 3. Then it is 4. Then it is 5. Then she calls a friend. The friend calls a friend. The entire courtyard arena is filled with these elderly gopis. They are supplying one rope after another. Now it could be tens and hundreds of ropes tied to each other. But in the final conclusion, 2 fingers short. Our acharyas say, why it is only 2 fingers? 1 finger represents the individual effort. Like we all have to get up in the morning or whenever we have to chant or keep ourselves fit. There is an effort involved. One finger stands for the individual effort and the other stands for help from Krishna. I especially like this point. Bhakti doesn't make you lazy. It doesn't mean that in North India, I heard a saying from a, I don't know which sadhu or somebody just was discussing that the subject was chanting and he said, Hamara jab kare Ram, hum baithe aram. I said, wait a minute, what's that? He said, your chanting should be such that At one point of time, effortlessness means you stop chanting and God takes over and he starts chanting on your behalf. I said, hey, there is some mischief in this. Friends, in the bhakti process, there never comes a time when you do not do any effort. Right from the beginning, when you choose bhakti, that is the individual choice. You are making a conscious choice. You keep on making conscious choices throughout your life. And when you achieve perfection, beyond that also, there is always a conscious choice. Krishna is like the ultimate doer. He is the source of all energy. But because he's the source of all energy, like an ocean, you and me, like a drop, we have the same qualities of the ocean. If the ocean water is 68% sodium, then you and me are a drop. We also will be having 68% only. We cannot be having anything less. The matra, the praman, the volume is cannot be compared. He's infinite, we are infinitesimal. But there is never 0 and 100. Never. We are tiny, is big. That always remains the same. So the first finger is our effort, second finger is Krishna's mercy. Then Krishna did the second allowance. He allowed himself to be bound. So now that he was bound, the thief is in the dock. Everybody goes back to their business. Now Krishna does something which, as Krishna, he knows, as we have our to-do list. First task is to get yourself bound. The next task is, hey, those two trees, they're not two trees, they are two individuals who were cursed by my devotee, Narad Muni. So since there is nobody watching, Krishna starts crawling. And as he's crawling, he's dragging the wooden mortar behind him. Then he goes, there's a small space between the two trees. Krishna can pass through, but the mortar which is vertical becomes horizontal and it gets stuck. And then Krishna gives a tug and crash! Both trees come crashing down. Some of the smaller boys, smaller kids, they are watching this whole spectacle. Two beautiful, effulgent personalities come out of those trees. They are the same two sons of Kubera. They offer Krishna prayers. Thank you. Now we understand why your pure devotee cursed us. If you would not have cursed us, we would not have stayed here. And now, because of your liberating us, all our previous bad karma is gone. And Krishna says, so what do you want to do? Whatever is your wish, we will serve you in any way possible. So just see, by just Narad Muni's curse, they have to stay there for few thousand years. That is a fact. But then by Krishna breaking them down, they become not just like a criminal going to jail and coming out. Now he is just put in jail for 6 months. Have you taken out the criminality from him? That's not possible. But when Krishna liberated them, he took away their bad intentions, he purified them completely. And that's how, hey, I thought she's going to sleep.
I tried to put her to sleep. She came back.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Radha.
Sorry.
Anyway, actually, hearing a lecture is a good way to go to sleep. So maybe I'll speak some philosophy and she'll go to sleep. Anyway, so Krishna liberates them, and this happened during this month. So the month of Kartik is like a huge sale offer, and that's how our uh, devotees, acharyas explain that normally those who are devotees will perform bhakti anyway, but in the month of Kartik there is a 80% off, 90% off kind of offer, and this may attract somebody who's not really interested, but will say, okay, what gives? I'll take a chance. Now, please understand what is it that Krishna wants in this 1 month. Once, if you offer a tiny lamp to Damodar, good enough. I have seen our New York Harinam Ashram people, they make passers-by at Union Square offer a lamp, and that's all it takes. So I hope that wherever you are, you can, as many number of times in this month, once in a day, good enough. But in case you cannot do every day, whenever possible, at home or in the temple nearby, if you can go there, otherwise at home also, just take a small lamp, offer it to Lord Damodar, and accept the huge offer made in this month, that Tatha Prema Bhaktim, you get love of God simply by this one observation of a Kartik Mass procedure. So, Hare Krishna, I will stop here. Comments, questions?
Srimachandra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
It
Krishna.
was so nice to see you, Prabhu, and
Hare
it
Krishna.
was such an amazing class. Very beautifully you described the pastime. Almost took us there in a muted form. So, Prabhu, I had this question. You made a statement by Prabhupada that a sincere devotee's life is like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I got it correct. So, Prabhu, what is its implication to us in our sadhana practices, and how do we understand this?
I think it comes in the Bhagavad Gita. Let me just check. I'll make a quick search here. Okay, this is 4.21, and Prabhupada says here, a Krishna conscious person is always dovetailed with the supreme desire, for he has no desire for personal sense gratification. He moves exactly like a part of a machine. As a machine part requires oiling and cleaning for maintenance, so a Krishna conscious man maintains himself by his work just to remain fit for action in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So a machine requires maintenance. So a devotee takes care of his body, of his resources, intelligence, everything, and keeps himself fit. So a well-oiled machine, this is a mechanical engineering term. What if the parts don't fit? Then there is friction, there is smoke, there is a lot of noise, and a properly oiled machine, it's like working without any noise. So that's the analogy given. Now during Prabhupada's time, there was no electronics, but there was mechanical engineering. So he chose to give a mechanical engineering example. But yeah, that's what it is.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Anyone else would like to speak? Suman Prabhu, would you like to say anything?
So thank you, very nice, well explained lecture. Uh,
Thank you.
just uh, just a small clarification maybe. You were telling about the rasopajam, so higher taste. So cultivating higher taste automatically um, helps us in giving up the taste. So if one is not in on that platform where one is able to be attached to that highest taste, should shouldn't he simultaneously try to even do the negation of the lower taste again and again?
Well, you are saying that if you don't get the higher one, then shouldn't you kick out the lower one? Um, well, I feel, Gokumar Prabhu, what do you say? I feel it's more like a intellectual thing where you are trying to understand this is low, this is high. I'm not able to get the high, so let me at least tackle the lower one.
So, if I can say something, so
Please go ahead.
Chaitanya Sharan Prabhu always talks about transforming and transcending. So,
Okay.
transforming, we have to transform ourselves, put some effort in transforming ourselves in terms of working ourselves. And that could mean getting rid of some of the unwanted things. And while we are transforming, we can also start transcending or connecting or linking with Krishna. So, both are needed.
Okay. See, Shuman Prabhu, touching the ceiling while being on a trampoline. You've seen a trampoline where people jump and they. So higher taste could mean you really jump high, then you touch the ceiling, but you don't stick to the ceiling because gravity pulls you back. So for many devotees, the higher taste is for a moment, but staying with the lower taste is like for 23 hours and 59 minutes and 57 seconds. Fine. But at least intellectually, you can come to some kind of conclusion that those 3 seconds were much better than what I'm doing otherwise. There is a nice conversation with one, I don't know if there is celebrity or whether a movie star, may not be a movie star, but someone came to talk to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada could understand that this fellow doesn't have that intellectual understanding to absorb all that Prabhupada was saying. But he was very polite. He accepted prasad, and they were discussing highs and lows of human life, human activity. And while leaving, he told Prabhupada, "So, Swamiji, I need to take you a leave now. I need to go back and engage in my lower quality activities." And then when he left, devotees said, "What do you think of him, Prabhupada?" Prabhupada said, "Actually, the only takeaway from this meeting was he understood that what he was doing is low class." And of course, he accepted Prabhupada's prasad from Prabhupada's hand personally, so surely he'll be benefited. But that also is there. Never he could have understood that what I'm doing is actually low. So sometimes the first installment of a guru's mercy is that at least you get an understanding what is high and what is low. Because without Krishna, we actually will never understand what is high and what is low. Because from Krishna's point of view, everything is low here. But within that, we make some gradation. Oh, this is at least better than this. It's like two students have failed. One got 19, the other got 24. in mathematics out of 100. So one parent says, at least my son is better than your son. How better? Well, at least he got 5 more marks. But that doesn't qualify, right? From the examination board's point of view, they are both failures. So taking the transformation aspect, you need to understand that this is low, and then the transcending thing, if you can connect to Krishna, that one thing will be helpful in uh, like increasing the transcending aspect. Yeah, you can say like that.
Thank you so
Any
much.
other point? Yeah, Jitendra Prabhu.
Jitendra Prabhu.
Prabhuji, if you don't mind. So actually, I sort of think the answer is there in your lecture itself. Like a little further down, you said that we might do jnana, we might do tapa, we might do, karma, but then we eventually depend on the grace of Krishna. So yes, we might say no to things. We might say no to certain things, which is a kind of tapa. But our eventual dependence is not on that tapa. Our eventual dependence is that we pray to Krishna and pray for his grace. So that is our eventual dependence. So although the transformation aspect is there and the transcendence aspect is there, our eventual dependence is on the transcendence aspect. Not that I say that because I'm doing tapa, I will automatically get that higher taste. No, I'm depending on Krishna to give it to me, and then yeah, I mean it's a question of where I depend ultimately, where my shelter is. Is it in saying no to things, or is it in saying yes to something higher, something like that? Just
Very good point. Very good point. One thing which devotees avoid is like going to the counter and putting forth there all the tapa, jnana, pious activities you have done and say that, can I get little bhakti by giving this? So this idea that I can bargain with Krishna is wrong. Our acharyas have done huge tapa. Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, Prabhupada's guru, he took a vrata of chanting 1 billion names. What did he do for that? He made he stayed under a tree in Mayapur. It started raining, so he just made a small hut. The hut would also leak, so he would hold an umbrella with his left hand and chant with his right hand. Cook rice once in a day and eat that. So if somebody feels that bhakti, anybody can do that, sit in the corner and chant Hari Hari. That day we were discussing in the Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, the statement that bhakti is an easy process. So Prabhupada says, if it is easy, why do you settle for a hard process? Like traveling in America, it says left, shortcut to go to New Vrindavan, left, right, long cut, 42 miles extra. Now, who would take deliberately the long cut? We will take the shortcut, of course. So, naturally, we will take the easy process. But why people avoid the easy process of bhakti? Prabhupada says bhakti is not exactly easy. Understanding it is easy, but executing it is difficult, sometimes impossible. Why impossible? Why Krishna is the only enjoyer? Why Krishna is the only creator? Why not me? Now, here if you say that Bill Gates is enjoying billions, isn't it unfair that one person should be a billionaire? And people say, hey, do you know what brains he has? How much hard work he has done? He is entitled, of course. So those who take Krishna's energy and become big, they are defended in this material world very nicely. Oh, they deserve it. Oh, they deserve it. But Krishna, who is giving, he is always under the microscopic lens that who made him God? Who appointed him? Where does he get his money from? and why he is the only enjoyer? I mean, it's unfair. This Prabhupada calls it the original envy towards Krishna. It's there everywhere. So the way out of that envy and jealousy is you perform tapa, whatever is necessary. Once Prabhupada said tapasya is to read my books. Now, not that the books are bad or books are not readable, but I'll tell you a secret. Every time you take a paragraph and it says, so it is proved that the living entity cannot become God, Krishna is only God, Krishna is transcendent to the three modes. If you say, I have heard it a umpteen times, Prabhupada, I know it by heart. Prabhupada says, you know it, but treat it like an ointment on a skin disease. When you apply the ointment, if it burns, that means you require it more. Like there's a cut and you put some Dettol or some antiseptic containing alcohol, your skin will burn. If there is no skin laceration or a wound, you will feel cool. You'll say more, more. It's good. I like it. I like it. So pure devotees, when they see Krishna being glorified, their skin is flawless. It gives them a cooling effect. But those who are badly bruised by Maya, trying to enjoy sense gratification, their whole body is filled with cuts and wounds and pus and open wounds. And then they put that ointment, it's like, it burns. So what is the solution? Keep on taking that ointment or that solution. You say, but why do things which don't make you happy? In bhakti, we do things which will make us happy. There's a difference between something which is making me happy right now, giving happiness right now, or giving me happiness later. So again, one motivational speaker has this famous saying, play now and pay later. Play now, the game of sense gratification, and pay later. Instead of that, pay now. Chant Hare Krishna, follow the principles, and play later. So paying and playing and playing and paying. The choice is ours.
Prabhuji, do you have some more time? Or
No. I am having today nothing else except spending time with you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. I just want to give everybody a short opportunity to interact with Shyamananda Prabhu. So anybody else? Karan Prabhu, would you like to say something?
Prabhuji, thank you so much for such a sweet class. It was literally like the pastime was playing in front of us the way you described it. Very beautiful. Thank you. And
Are you still going to Washington Square campus?
I graduated, Prabhuji, so I'm not part of that program now.
Oh my, where are you now?
I'm in Jersey now. I'm working.
Okay.
Yeah, but that program is still going.
Sorry. Vishal Prabhu and Karan Prabhu are roommates. Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yeah, but that program is still going on, Prabhuji. Like now, this semester, it's going on online. Kirtan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you were saying something.
Yes, Prabhuji. Can I ask one question actually?
Sure.
Like these, like now, before there was this Purushottam month this year, and now every year there is like this Karthik month, and there is like said, like if you do this small activity you will get this much benefit. So like how can we not get into that tendency of like making kind of like business kind of deal with Krishna, and what is like actual like understanding from bhakti perspective of doing such activity, like we do something and we receive something from Krishna. Can you please tell something more about this project?
Okay, very good question. As I said, Karthik is like an offer for a new person. In Network Devotion, Prabhupada use the word a non-serious person. Even if somebody is non-serious, Bhakti Krishna takes very seriously, and he also gives Bhakti benefits to only those who are serious. But this 1 month, it is like a offer for those who are non-serious. So those who are serious, they look at these offers, one small lamp, one small pranam, one small prayer. Their heart fills with gratitude. Their heart is simply filled with emotions like, how, what magnanimity. Why would Krishna do this if not for the ultimate welfare? So those who are using this offer for the first time, they could be engrossed in that. Okay, I did my offering of my lamp, so now I am covered. Now I am good, and that's not bad because that shows uh, at least they have taken the first step. So bhakti is a process where simultaneously anything what you are doing, the acharyas, the Purva acharyas, Shad Goswamis, they all like clap, they all celebrate. Oh, there is one more devotee who has taken to the process. So, uh, like a grade one child, uh, if he comes and shows that, Daddy, Mommy, today I made this painting in school, and of course they have to say, what is it? Oh, can't you see? It's an aeroplane. Oh, it's an aeroplane. Now, only he or she knows it's an aeroplane. Otherwise, no one thinks it's an aeroplane. But the parents say, oh, did you do it yourself? Wow. So, this is the nature. So, similarly, somebody who is new, when they do that, Krishna gives that kind of encouragement. But those who are slightly better than them, they understand that I have a long way to go. So, this is how those who are serious practitioners, they can see that I don't need this Karthik encouragement. I need to do this 365 days of the year. But I am so happy that Bhakti also has this kind of a caring attitude towards those who are, uh, you know, those who haven't taken the plunge yet or those who don't have the faith yet. There's a funny story from 26th Avenue. Initially, Prabhupada would tell devotees to eat as many chapatis as they want. They really liked, for bread in the West would mean baked many weeks or months before. But this is fresh chapati, they call it unleavened bread. So after some time, Prabhupada said, don't eat so much. So one day, one devotee said, Swamiji, 3 months ago, you were encouraging us to eat as much as we should. And even when we didn't have appetite, you would encourage us. Now, why all of a sudden you are telling us to control our tongue? Prabhupada said, well, you obeyed me at that time, you obey me now. So this is a very nice way of putting things, that when you followed rules and regulations which little bit and you got much more return, that time you didn't complain. So now that you got that, you are equipped with more intellect, equipped with more maturity. So now don't complain if something serious is required from you. Anything to add, Gurkumar Prabhu?
No, Prabhuji, that was perfect. So I just want to give an opportunity to Roshan Prabhu. Roshan Prabhu, thank you for joining us.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you
Hare Krishna.
for the wonderful class, Prabhuji.
Are you still in Seattle?
No, Prabhuji. So very recently I moved to Austin.
Okay.
Yeah, like maybe a month ago. Yeah. Prabhuji, so I think I had a couple of questions. I'm not sure how much time you have. But your first question was, I really like the point when you said that uh, we should ask why for everything that we do in our life. But personally, I also like thinking a lot. But I think my personal experience is sometimes too much thinking also sort of slows you down. So I was wondering, like, how do you, at least from Bhakti's perspective, how do you maintain that balance of thinking versus actually working?
Very good question. So thinking is a function of the mind, thinking, feeling, and willing. And the Latin word for a human being is Homo sapiens. Sapiens means having reasoning ability, rationality. To be rational, sometimes we may tell somebody, Prabhu, be rational. That means use your reasoning. I may not be able to do this, and that's not a fault of mine. That's how we use the word being rational. So, thinking, let us say, how Krishna does things. So, the Bhagavatam says Krishna is inconceivable. Conception, conceive, like a woman conceives the seed of her husband and that becomes a baby. So, that is called conception. So, you may hold a thought as a seed, keep it in your mind, and that thought may come out as a deed, as a kind of work functioning, or it may give rise to other thoughts. That's a general idea. But when it says Krishna is inconceivable, so sometimes in our college program people say, can I understand how is inconceivable? So the answer is, inconceivable means that you cannot understand with your intellect. And you want to understand how I cannot understand with my intellect. So there is mental speculation and philosophical speculation. We'll take the negative first. The classic story for mental speculation is a frog living in a well. One day goes out, and another frog takes him to the Atlantic Ocean and says, see this ocean. And he may say, oh, I never saw so much water in my life. So he comes back, tells his mom, did you know what I saw yesterday? Says, what? Atlantic Ocean. She says, what do you mean? It's a body of water, that's all it is. He says, you don't get it. This well is nothing compared to it. She says, she puffs her body and says, twice? Is it like this much? She said, no way, it's too much. She puffs it more, 5 times, 10 times. He says, you don't understand. It is, I mean, what can I tell you? And she tries to puff more and pat, her stomach explodes. So this is a warning given for those who may go beyond their thinking prowess, their thinking capacity. Like India, you see sometimes a truck, it's only 3 tons, it's carrying 4.5 tons. Have you seen those overloaded trucks in India with hay or with goods or whatever? So sometimes that happens with a human being. They think beyond their capacity. In our preaching, we use an example. I don't know whether it's from any Shastra, I didn't see that. But a yogi pleased Lord Brahma. And Brahma said, what do you want? He says, first of all, tell me, will you give me what I want? He says, yeah, of course. He says, give me all the data that is there in your foreheads. I want all that knowledge. So Brahmaji pressed the download button and all that data went into this yogi's head and boom, it burst into 100 pieces. Data overload. So he did tapasya to please Brahma. Tick. He had a desire for all that wisdom. Tick. The third box is Did he have the capacity to store that? So just like with eating, similarly with thinking, one should know when to stop. So while thinking, if you feel discouraged from performing bhakti, if you feel discouraged from associating with Vaishnavas, if you feel discouraged from the whole idea of loving Krishna, that means there is some overthinking or thinking overload, data overload. Because data is such doesn't have any capacity to generate love for Krishna or for his devotees. So many times we think in binary terms. Should we think or should we not think? No, it says you think according to your capacity. So if you are of the thinking type, there is so much material to exercise your muscles, associate with those who also like to do that. Now, there are some devotees who may not like to think. They could be having PhDs from Yale, Stanford, Harvard, whatever. But they say, Prabhu, I did all of that 10 years ago. Now I just want to enjoy the life of chanting and serving devotees. That is possible. In a lecture, Prabhupada said, what's our philosophy? Chant Hare Krishna. See some kirtan, dance in that. Feel tired? Take some prasad. And somebody said, no, but what about other things? No, there's nothing else. Just chant, dance, and take prasad. No, but what if somebody says, why chant Hare Krishna? Why not Om Om or Ram Rahim or Kali Kali, Durga Durga or whatever? And why dance in Sankirtan? Why not in a clubhouse? Or why not in a ballroom? Prabhupada said, oh, then we have 80 books, 1,000 pages each to make you understand why we do things the way we do. But if you yourself don't have any issues, then no need of these books. Just follow the process. So we have thoroughly illiterate acharyas who cannot even sign their own name, like Gorkishore Babaji Maharaj. And his disciple, who they said had a vocabulary which was higher than anybody else during his time, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who said that all Vedic knowledge can be attained if I simply take the dust of the lotus feet of my Guru Maharaj. So bhakti is like that. You utilize all resources which you have. Don't borrow, beg, or steal. Don't feel bad that I'm a good singer, but I'm not a good dancer. I'm a good dancer, but I'm not a good cook. Krishna doesn't need your singing. He has enough singers. He doesn't need your dancing. He has enough dancers. He himself is an expert dancer. So what does he need? He only needs that one desire to love him. So utilize your 100%. Don't be morose if you don't have something. But just be whatever you are and enjoy the life of Krishna consciousness.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So many gems, actually. So many gems in what you're saying. Thank you. From Austin, I'd like to move to California. Vrinda
Okay.
Mataji. Vrinda Mataji, would you like to say anything?
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, how's your mom? She's back in Ahmedabad?
Yeah, she's back. She actually had a knee surgery, so she was on a 4 to 6 week bed rest. So she still is on that. So yeah, just so her hospital is a bit annoyed with her for taking so many leaves, but she can't walk, so she can't help. So yeah, it was so nice to see you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the amazing lecture. And it was like you kickstarted the whole Damodar month, and always like, no matter how many times we hear the Damodar Leela, it's always sweeter every time. So yeah, thank you so much. Like right now I don't have any questions, but it's just nice seeing you and listening to you.
Same here. You are having same You're working in Amazon, right?
No, Prabhuji, Oracle.
Oracle, okay. How's the job?
Yeah, job is good.
So
Going
only work from home?
Yeah, like sometimes I go to office, but it's very rare, like once in a month or something like that. Yeah.
All right. No traveling anywhere in America.
No, but I actually have like book delivery services, so I just drive off to almost so many places in Bay Area. So it's nice. Like even though it's work from home, but I get to go out a lot. So that's a good part. But inside America, no, they're traveling just in California.
Your temple there is quite strong in book distribution, right?
Oh my God, yeah. Like Vaishnav Maharaj is like so hard on it. So even
Yeah,
the
correct.
Jas Puja, he gave us like bookmarks that keep reading. So yeah,
Good, good. Nice to see you.
nice to see you too.
Thank you so much, Vinda. From California, we move up to Seattle. Vinay Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Prabhu. Thank you so much for kickstarting Damodar month, and like I felt like you wrapped up lecture in very short time. I was expecting more. And just one question, Prabhu. Like I had that question about why, but it's already answered. I had the same
Okay.
question, Prabhu. And one question, like so in this, like especially this special time, like Karthik month, how to like maintain the devotional mood, Prabhu? Like because of lot of work or a lot of spending lot of time in Rajoguna or some clashes with devotees, with colleagues or boss. So after that, like sometimes if you are annoyed or frustrated, so like how to still like maintain our devotional mood and temperament, especially in this.
Okay, just start with one thing. Whatever may be the situation, once in a day, at least play the Damodara Ashtakam and meditate on its meaning if you have the time. More than that is to actually sing it if possible, taking out some time with kartals or harmonium, whatever. If you don't have it, just alone. And to Damodar, offer a small lamp. That's the entirety of Kartik Vrat. So, true, just because you are chanting doesn't mean that colleagues will be cooperative or office atmosphere would be nice. So, whatever it was there before, it will continue. But the apart from the chanting, whatever you are doing, especially with regards to doing the Kartik Vrat, will go a very long way. And you yourself will see that your desire to hear more, your desire to understand, like say, for example, there is this site ISKCON Desire Tree. Are you aware of that?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So there are some devotees who have given extensive classes on Damodar month, Kartik month. Like, I'll tell you what I am doing. I love to hear in Hindi also. So I have begun Brahmar Geet, Krishna sending Uddhava to Vrindavan. So that is part of the 10th canto. And Dinabandhu Prabhu has a recording, just series of recording on Brajadham Parikrama. And that's really puts you there. So even if you haven't visited Vrindavan, even if you don't know the places, so 15-20 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, 15 minutes in the evening, whenever you get time, just plug into that thing and you are in Vrindavan. So hearing about Vrindavan, meditating on Vrindavan is as good as being there. So simplest of things you can do, and that will help you go through the daily grind of office work and colleagues and whatever. You're also working from home or actually
Yes,
going to your office?
working from home, bro. Yes,
Now just see, Maya means that which is not, isn't it? Simple
yes,
definition. So what is the definition of working from home? You are at peace. You have all the time. There are no pressures. And you decide the schedule. Now, everywhere in the world, people are thinking, hell, this work from home is sometimes more tiring than making a commute. So that's how life is. The Bhagavatam says, a person who is not trained, he sees but doesn't see. Pashyan na pashyati. So if you ask someone that why is it that during the work from home thing you are more stressed, you have less time for yourself, you don't even do exercise, you put on weight, or you have other issues. They say, I also don't know why it's like that. Or somebody says, I didn't realize it. So just see, now this is happening to you, not happening to the world. You're not asking people about climate change or the Antarctica glaciers. They are melting away. That is the farthest point of Pasyanapina Pashyati. Here, something happening to your own body, you can't see what's happening. So this is classic Maya. That something is promised as which will take away all the stress of work. You can work from the confines of your own environment, your own favorite desk, your own favorite chair, lounge. You can relax. You cannot relax in this atmosphere today. So start with this small dose, and that will act like a vaccination against all this toxic atmosphere.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So we can go to Dhavalji, local, New York.
Oh, you haven't graduated yet, right?
No, Prabhu. One more year.
One more year, okay.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm still learning. I'm in my second year of my master's degree. It's my final year. So I had the question, but the question already got answered. You said like not to overthink, keep on doing what you are doing. So on that front, the follow-up question which I have is: suppose we are keep on doing what we are doing, we got some constant pace on which we are learning, but how to increase that? So once I increase it, again I get overthinking and see that it's not gonna work, and I come down to a lower rate, or you can say lower pace. But how I increase the pace?
It's
It's regarding
interesting.
my chanting. So
Okay,
I'm chanting 2 rounds, but I tried increasing it, but then it on with day-to-day work, I was not able to do it. So
okay, very good question. When I was introduced to the process, I'm assuring you, nobody told me to go from 1 to 2, 2 to 4 or 6 or whatever. I was just told fix a number. Sometimes even fix a time limit. Now, I'm going to surprise you by telling that Devamrit Swami is a big leader in the Hare Krishna movement. He normally stays in New Zealand, Australia, but he's also responsible for Brooklyn, so he comes there. He was in Yale, about to graduate. Then he came in touch with devotees, got the books, read the books, but never interacted with anyone. His first thing was devotees eat only remnants. So he was thinking, what do you mean? Like you cook a whole pot and then throw 98% of the thing away and just eat the last 2%? That's what people eat? He had never gone to a temple, so how does he understand? And then he came to the understanding that throughout these books, this Swamiji is telling to chant, 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 chant. So then he got beads. But how many rounds did he chant? He said, I would chant one bead every day. Take the beads. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Job done. Just see the reciprocation of Krishna. Because it was done sincerely, Krishna reciprocated. So, those who chant 16, that doesn't make them special. Of course, they are fulfilling one particular criteria, that minimum 16 is a serious practitioner, like somebody who goes to gym every day for half an hour. That means this person is serious about his health. Writers, one part of my duty also is writing, so I collect a lot of literature on writing. And most of the writers, if they are asked, did you enjoy writing that novel? No, it was a torture. It was too much. There is one writer I especially admire. He's an atheist, so I don't condone his views. His writing practice is leave house, go to a small cottage. That is his work area. It's filled with books. There is a very nice armchair. He sits there and writes or types 3 full-scape papers every day. 3 full-scape. That means one side, second side, and a third side. Minimum 3. And he's very famous. His books have sold in millions. So he was asked that, do you feel sometimes getting out of that cabin and not visiting it? He said, every day. Sometimes nothing comes in. I just type in something gibberish. Dog, 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 horse, 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 whatever. दिमाग काम ही नहीं कर रहा है, क्या करेंगे? And sometimes he feels like typing 6 pages, 7 pages, because there is sudden spurt of inspiration. He said, if I type 1,000 pages, I take something like 15, 16 of them as good ideas. When I read this, I was amazed. Look at the amount of sadhana bhakti he's doing just for writing children's books. Do you feel like giving it up? Oh, yes. Do you feel it's a torture, it's a pain? Oh, yes. So why are you not giving it up? He says, no, I'm a writer, I should do it. He was asked, how do you get good ideas? First of all, get many ideas, then you can say one of them is good. If you wait for the only good idea, it will never come. So if somebody just waits that one day, early morning, I'll get up and I'll just chant, and Krishna will be so happy with me, that day will never come. So if it is 2, stick to 2. Do it as a homework. Maybe you'll enjoy, maybe you will not. But one thing I guarantee you, as long as you connect with others who are serious chanters, you will end up being a serious chanter yourself. It's a natural principle. Because you are doing it seriously, you will never be bereft of the stamina or the maturity required. Right now, you may not have it. Don't bother with that. Right now, take up the small number, continue that.
I just want to add that Dhaval Prabhu is going to Bhakti Center every Saturday, 10 to 1, and he's connecting with serious chanters and doing service. And it's wonderful that you're taking the risk and going in spite of COVID.
Nothing, Prabhuji. It's just like, it's been like just 2 weeks I started it. So I will continue it.
How's the COVID situation there in Manhattan?
So there was another small spike, Prabhuji, and then now it's again coming down. So it's under control.
So Bhakti Center has started accepting devotees from outside for service?
No, it's completely closed. Bhakti Center is completely closed. In fact, this Saturday, on the first day of Karthik, they're opening to celebrate Gaurchandra's appearance day also.
Okay.
So only 4 days in the entire month of Karthik it will be open. That too, it's very limited, only from 5 to 6:30 p.m. in the evenings. So,
yeah. We have to be careful because Europe is seeing a big spike. Yesterday I heard Kadam Kanand Maharaj tested positive. and is now just isolating. So for 90 or maybe 95% of the population, you get positive, you quarantine yourself, isolate, and just take care of your, see if there's any spike in your uh, pre-existing condition, like if it is a somebody's asthmatic, somebody's having some other problems. Otherwise, Krishna willing, it should not be such a big thing. But again, we have to be careful. See, you're all scientists, you're all engineers, and you're all way beyond in intellectual capacity more than me. One of my initial worries was, how can one small atomic spiritual spark be in the body of a whale, be in the body of an elephant? This pandemic has taught me that this virus is not even atomic. It is quite large. It cannot be seen by the naked eye, but it is much. I mean, there are pictures of it. There is a hat on it. Therefore, it's called a corona. It has a crown on it. So somebody has seen it. The total number of deaths is now, I don't know how many, 5 million over the world or something, 200,000 plus in America alone. One scientist put the weight of this coronaviruses as less than a gram. So one is to see that something is powerful in its killing process. A devotee's mindset goes as to say, who has empowered it to kill like this? Like in mafia world, there is something called a kingmaker. Somebody will not be the don, but he will employ people under him who will do the killing. So Kali has Corona as his soldier or whatever. Believe me, devotees don't only see the generating capacity of Krishna, the maintaining capacity of Krishna, but Bhagavatam also encourages to see the destructive power of Krishna. Because generation, maintenance, and destruction only happen in this material world. And I'm only taking a small angle of just see the phenomenon happening right in front of you. There were movies about the Black Plague. There were internet reports about the Spanish flu. But we are witness to something. And we can see that how material nature can be so destructive. When bombs were falling on Calcutta, Prabhupada was cooking puris. Oh, this is Krishna who has come in the form of death. I need to offer him some prasad. If you read the Lilamrit, Prabhupada was offering puris to Krishna coming as bombs. So Prabhupada has assured a devotee who has chanted even once, there is no spiritual death. Material body, aaj hai, kal nahi hai. It's going to happen like that. But when you say that, oh, this person was totally destroyed, not applicable to the devotional mindset. So I wish you all the luck and health, whatever way possible. Stick to your norm and do your studies also. All good at home. You're also from Ahmedabad, Dhaval?
I am from Surat, Prabhuji.
Surat.
Yeah. Yes, everything is good.
No spikes, because some of our devotees in Ahmedabad say that there is a big spike there. We even lost one Prabhupada disciple, but he was very old and ailing. Jasomati Nandan Prabhu, one of the pioneers of preaching in Gujarat, he left his body 2-3 days ago.
Yes, Prabhuji. So only two more people left. Vishal Prabhu. Vishal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So happy to see your lovely face smiling. How are you, Prabhuji?
I'm good. Where are you? New York?
Yes, Prabhuji. I'm living with Karan Prabhu, as Goraknath
Oh.
mentioned. By your mercy, Prabhu. Somehow doing some devotion. I won't take your much time, Prabhu. Just need your blessing to continue.
No. I have all the time for you.
Really, I just want to know, like, because earlier I was studying, now I'm working. So I usually get time after my work to chant, and me and Karan Prabhu read sometimes. But I just sometimes I think like, we need to do this every day, but there is not, I would say, like right feeling in the heart, or there are like distractions which you already like addressed with Vinay Prabhu and Dhaval Prabhu's questions. But I want to know, like, I have heard like initially there is like the graph is like this and then it gets like this flat. So I'm really scared of that, Prabhuji. Like, it should not happen. So how can I just keep on being like that?
Good question. Our Sachinandan Swami gives an example that when a plane takes off from Mumbai or Delhi airport and it is going towards JFK non-stop, he says, don't think that there is a lane which says that, okay, Delta flight so and so will put in this lane. Above, there are no lanes. There are no right and left signs. There is no red, yellow, or green. So, what airlines do or what planes do is normally go from one end of the lane to the other. And then there are these nodal points which have been put by the international authority. And when they know that they are going too much towards the left, then they come to the right. Sometimes they go too much to the right, and then they go in the middle. So all ideas of what we have when we drive a car, that doesn't apply when you're flying a plane, because above there it is all one homogeneous existence of space. That's all. Similarly, like at least you and Karan are staying together. So chances of both of you feeling discouraged is less. Both of you feeling very encouraged could be. But normal lifestyle should be one is saying not today, other saying, hey, no, आज करते हैं यार, ऐसा नहीं करते. This is what happens in normal life. So do not expect that the graph will only go up, because that's not natural. There will be some bit of gaps. 22nd March, India had this uh, COVID lockdown. I read Vaisheshika Prabhu's 10 points on how to deal with the lockdown. If you haven't seen that, it is available. Where was it available? I think Indradumna Swami kept it on his electronic diary, e-diary or whatever. So, but you can find it on the net, or at least somebody from California, you can certainly ask them. Common sense advice, how to deal with working from home and other challenges. So one day I made a sankalpa. Vaisheshika Prabhu is saying, don't chase the news. It will simply make you paranoid. I said, okay. I went further and said, till 12:30 p.m., no reading of news or discussing of corona or anything. So for me, my lifestyle is get up at around 4. Yeah, see, this thing is there in ISKCON news. So you can use that. And then till 9:30 is our temple program. Then some pranayam, take some quick breakfast, go for my morning walk. Morning walk means chanting, some reading, some writing also when I reach my favorite spot. Come back by around 10:30, 10:45, 11 sometimes. Then 1 hour of writing articles or doing my major tasks for the day. And at 12:30 or 12 o'clock, after 12, see some electronic news, websites of Guardian, CNN. There are 3 or 4 I visit every day. Just the headlines. Was I successful? No way. One day there was a spike in Mumbai. I said, I have to read it. Man, I stay in Mumbai. I need to be aware of, I need to be on top of things. So that Mumbai thing suddenly went for 3-4 days. I said, why am I reading this when I'm not supposed to? So again, I had to bring myself back into the groove of discipline, discipline, discipline. So 3 times I failed in a span of 4 months. I'm not proud to say that, but I am also aware that if I had not made this sankalpa, I would have never succeeded the way I have done, at least for the other days. So sometimes a bit of a slip up, a bit of a setback is good. It tells you that you are also human. You're also, you can make mistakes. But make a pact between you and your partner that, see, if I fail, give me a kick, but wake me up and we will do our reading, or we will do our singing, bhajan or chanting, whatever. Even if it is, they say that for goal setting, initially you should taste some success. And that success is set some small goals, not too easy that you can, not even consider them a victory, but something like say jogging. If you say I'll jog 10 meters, that will not give you that joy. What's your target? 15 kilometers. Hey, then 10 meters is nothing. But a small component of say 500 meters, half a kilometer, that is a good target to begin with. It is not as arduous as the 15 kilometers thing, and it is not too easy like a 50 meters thing, but something to make you sweat, half a kilometer of gentle jogging. So this is the principle which works. Be realistic, expect failures, but stick to a small routine, and that will, those slow and steady steps will help you become more and more kind of fixed up. Yeah.
Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. One last person. If I don't ask this last person to speak, I'll get into trouble. So it's my good wife, Nitya Kishori.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Presence here, it makes me so happy to see you and give the class. It was so blissful to hear you. I'm sorry I had to be on the microphone, trying my effort to put her to sleep, but she has no mind. um, this has never happened. This is the first time actually she actually comes waking up and here. So I actually don't know when she'll go back now to sleep. Um, but I heard everything that you said about the pastime. It really, like everybody said, really, we're in the Vrindavan mode, living through those pastimes that you're mentioning, and it was really beautiful. And also the question and answers now, so many points, to process and take in. It was really nice. Every single question that you answered was really good. So I have no questions myself, because I think I have to now to process all this, that you mentioned, and hopefully incorporate with your blessing to in the upcoming month.
You know what is happening? We never were all of us together at Golkumar Prabhu and Nityakshari Mataji's place. Somehow we are all here. The only thing missing is her prasad.
Right.
I think all, maybe except 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe you have not been there. But I very much wish that next year, whenever the plans for traveling open up or whatever, we can meet there. They have a new place now, and it's especially closer to Bhakti Center. So just see the desire both of them have. Gaurakumar Prabhu and Mataji, they are now part of the mentoring team for Bhakti Center. I was just told they are taking more and more responsibilities. So all of you most of you, maybe exception of Shuman or other, they may not be introduced, but otherwise, many of you have been introduced to the process. So I always feel that Prabhupada told that my Guru Maharaj's sannyasis tried their best to preach in the West. I don't have sannyasis, I just have grihasthas. But just see how much my sincere grihasthas have accomplished. Prabhupada was very, very pleased with a sincere team of a husband-wife grihastha team, and they can do so much in introducing uh, new people to the blissful process of bhakti. So, Prabhu, Mataji, my humble obeisances, I have never felt away from home. Bhakti Center, of course, is my home, but especially at your place, it was simply being in Chowpatty with other grihasthas who also are equally caring and loving for me, having a loving attitude for me. So thank you very much. And thank you all. I'm your servant. We can have these programs once in a month, once in 2 months, whenever you have time. So please let me know. So Vancha kalpataru vescha kripa sindhu vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Shyamananda Prabhu ki.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Shyamananda Prabhu has left, I think. But thank you all for joining. So it's already almost 11 o'clock. So we can all connect next Wednesday. Hare Krishna.
Giving class next week.
Jugal Kishore Prabhu.
What, Prabhuji?
Jugal Kishore Prabhu.
Not yet. Yugal Kishore Prabhu is a little weak now. I'm in touch with Yugal Kishore Prabhu, but I will try my best to get somebody, Yugal Kishore Prabhu or Chaitanya Charan Prabhu or somebody.
No symptoms, right?
No symptoms, but Prabhuji is taking rest. So I don't want to bother him a little bit, just for a couple more weeks. After that, he'll be here.
Then we can bother.
Yes. Okay. Hare Krishna.
It's very good, Prabhu.
Very good.
Hare Krishna, sir.
Hare Krishna, Vishal. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
You liked it today?
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. Shyamananda Prabhu is amazing.
Yeah. Thank you for organizing it.
Oh, it's not. I mean, Shyamananda Prabhu agreed to come, so I didn't know anything. So
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Okay, Vishal.
You take rest. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me know. Like we can have.
Yeah.
Whenever you want me to.
Saturday evening is okay, or Sunday evening is okay for you?
Anytime. Only weekend. Anytime.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Take rest. And Raja is up. I could see.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you. Bye.